Welcome, everyone, to Real Talk Fantasy Baseball. I'm your host, Will Power. Joining me, as always, is the homie Murrow. What's up, Murrow?
What's up, Will? How are we feeling today?
Bro, opening day. I know you're excited off of that Phillies win. What was it, 7-3, the final?
It was. I don't want to say it. It's tough to say excited, man. I mean, the offense was. It was scary. I will blame the shadows. That's what it was, and we got to win. It's a 4-run win. It is what it
That's
is.
something that you kind of got to expect when they play in Washington, though, because the sun is not very nice in the afternoon.
I don't know, man. I don't like excuses. Mackenzie Gore looked
Plus,
nice.
he
was nice.
did. He
was
did.
nice.
Mackenzie Gore looked great today. 10 Ks against a really good lineup like the Phillies have. That was it was bittersweet, I guess, for you, right? Because to see
Win's a
some
win,
awesome
baby.
pitching like that,
Win is a win.
for sure. It doesn't matter how you get there as long as you win, right?
You know how it is.
And it looks like the Dodgers are on their way to win their first game as well. Blake Snell pitched okay. Had a couple wild pitches and walked a few batters, but Teoscar Hernandez with that 3-run home run put him over the top. And Tarek Skubal, dude, Cy Young from last year, gave up 4 runs. I mean, it is against the Dodgers, so and it's the first game of the season. You can't really put too much into that, off of spring training. A lot of these guys aren't even fully stretched out yet. Rest of the season, I feel, is going to be a lot better for Skubal, for sure.
I mean, yeah, and you said it first. It's the Dodgers, period. That's it. World Series champs. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting, I'm a big believer in the World Series hangover, and we've seen that so many times every single year, it seems to be. And even with Mookie Betts losing almost 20 pounds because he got a stomach virus, or they haven't really released what it was, something in his stomach. He wasn't able to hold food down. A lot of people he didn't think that he was going to be ready for opening day, and he went from 175 down to 157. That's a really significant difference. And it only happened within like a 2-week period. Mm-hmm. So that was definitely scary, but it was nice to see him in the lineup. He got a hit. I think he got a walk as well, scored a run. So, yeah, he's looking good.
It was announced how serious it was like the second after I drafted him too. So, but nonetheless, at least Mookie, thank you for playing. Thank you for your service, and keep fighting, man. You look good.
He looks real skinny too. Like, you can see a significant difference. But like whenever you have that stomach bug and you lose a little bit of weight, you gain it back pretty quick once you're able to hold food down. So I think he'll be all right. Give him the weekend. He'll probably gain another 8 pounds by Monday or so. And I think they have the day off on Sunday. So
yeah,
hit up some Shady Maple in Philly, man. That's the place. I love me some Shady Maple. Give me all that, all you can eat any day.
What's your go-to there? First thing you get?
Oh, I'm a breakfast guy, so I definitely go to the omelet station first, and then I'll go to
create your own omelet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I got all the meats, a couple vegetables in there. I don't do mushrooms. No, thank you. I won't touch that stuff. I am a big vegetable guy, but no mushrooms, no eggplant for me. I won't do all that.
You're an all-you-can-eat buffet. What are you doing with vegetables?
Yeah, basically. Bring all the meat.
What are you trying to prove, dude?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I went with my buddy, and a little side story. This dude can freaking eat, man. So he had his own plate of like a huge plate of eggs that was piled high, and then another plate of sausage that was piled high, and then another plate of bacon that was piled high, and then he went back and got more after that.
Good for him.
Dude's a beast, man.
He paid for it. Good for him.
Yeah, it's a good price too. So anyone listening, if you're ever in the Philadelphia area, go to Shady Maple. Place is awesome. Oh, and they are owned by, it's not Amish, right? It's Mennonite. They are owned by the Mennonites. Something like that. I don't want to say
same thing, but it is
similar.
Similar. Sure.
But the whole point being is they don't accept tips. And yeah, so go check out Shady Maple. Best place I've been to eat since I moved to the Philadelphia area.
No free ads.
No free ads. Shady Maple, give us some money.
Except one.
Except one. All right. So today we are talking about injury replacements, and there are a lot of injuries already. So Before we do that, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And make sure you check out our boys, Carlos and Ernie, on Sunday's show, who cover all the MLB news and rumors and all the current events. And they put out a great show as well. So today we are talking fantasy, though, and injury replacements, starting off with Shane McClanahan, who was supposed to be the Rays' opening day pitcher, returned from Tommy John surgery, and now all of a sudden he has a nerve issue in his tricep. I actually saw during his start, I think it was the third inning, top of the third inning, and right after he threw the pitch, he knew something was wrong. I'm kind of assuming that in his head, he thought that it was like, oh man, something happened with my elbow, but it actually turned out to be the tricep. Who knows what it could be, after that, because we have seen other pitchers that have complained about tricep injuries, and then it does end up turning into Tommy John surgery. So hopefully he doesn't pull one of those like fooled you things where he comes back from injury and then just has to go right back out and get Tommy John again, a third Tommy John, because this is his second. So another pitcher that had nerve issues, that continues to have nerve issues, is Max Scherzer. So in August of 2024, he had a tricep nerve issue. He changed his mechanics, he said, to fix it. It was causing a lot of pain and numbness in his thumb, and he actually got scratched from a start last week in spring training because of this sore thumb. So it seems to be an ongoing thing, but Scherzer's also a lot older than Shane McClanahan, so hopefully McClanahan will kind of like bounce back a little bit easier. So in Scherzer, the pain and the numbness in his thumb, it started last week.
Where are you at on Scherzer? Do you actually think Scherzer has a few more years, or is this it for Scherzer? Are we on the end of the line for Scherzer here?
I think so.
I almost see no value. If Scherzer's a free agent, I'm just kind of watching him and just seeing what he does.
So when Scherzer is healthy, he's pretty good still. He's not elite. He's not the guy that's going to go out there and throw 20 strikeouts in a game again. He's not a Cy Young award winner anymore, but I still feel like if he goes out there and he's healthy, he's going to throw 6 solid innings and give you that quality start basically every time he goes out there. I'm not expecting him to throw 20 starts. I think he's probably going to make less than that, but I still trust him when he's actually on the mound. But the problem is, if your league doesn't have IL spots, once he does have that injury, you basically just have to drop him, and worry about finding someone else on the waiver wire. So when it comes to Scherzer, if there's nothing else out there, I love to have him on my team, but I'm sure in most leagues, there's a lot other options that you could potentially have on your roster that are going to be more consistent with playing time, going to make 25 to 30 starts per season.
So one of those guys, I mean, if we're going to compare apples to apples here, would you rather have a Scherzer or would you rather have Verlander?
I'd much rather have Scherzer.
Much rather.
Yes.
Why?
Like I was saying, Scherzer, I feel like when he's on the field, he's still great. But with Verlander, I think Verlander's just done. I think that's
up.
For how long? Like
in a pitcher's park, though.
I guess, but I don't know. I've never really been high on Verlander except for like those 4 amazing years that he had. But the dude's had a super long career.
4?
Well, with Houston, like when he was like in his heyday with Houston, like after he got traded to Houston for the World Series, what was that in 2017? He's always been elite before that, but he got traded over to a better team, and that's when I feel like he really came into his own. I know he was a Cy Young with Detroit, and then he was a Cy Young with Houston again.
If Verlander's telling me his velocity is quote unquote up or back, I'm going to believe Verlander before I believe anybody else. If he tells me, nothing, it's not there, I'm going to drop him. But until then, give me Verlander in a pitcher's park.
So those are 2 options that are probably on the waiver wire, right? Most likely those guys are still available. I think their roster percentage is pretty low. So either one of those options are pretty good. I do have a couple other ones. Let's see. Spencer Arrighetti, 56% rostered. has a lot of upside. He's on a good team. Astros need him. They, like you just mentioned, Verlander, he's playing in San Francisco now. Luis Garcia is out. Lance McCullers isn't back until late April at the earliest. Arrighetti has a 27% K rate. His expected batting average on his curveball and his sweeper were under 200. He has a whiff percentage on his curveball of 42.4%, whiff percentage on his sweeper of 38.6%. The biggest issue is he lacks command. So his walk rate last year, 10.3%, and the league average is around 6. So that's a lot of walks, man. And I love the upside, huge strikeout potential. I think that he could even get up to 30% this year, but those walks are really going to hinder him. I feel like if he can figure out just finding the strike zone more often, especially, late in those at-bats when he already has 2 strikes on a batter, or, work on those swings and misses, like that's going to be the bread and butter for Arrighetti, but he's so young. I feel like he's going to show out this year, and
I think for Arrighetti too, I mean, I can only name one pitcher on that staff that's healthy and better than him, and that's Framber Valdez. Outside of that, I mean, who are they throwing out there? I mean, Arrighetti's 25. He's been one of their top prospects. I mean, he's not their top prospect, but who else is healthy? I mean, we've been waiting on guys for years there. A Lance McCullers who's never healthy, and Garrett Cole's gone, Verlander's gone, so Spencer Arrighetti has to step up, and this could be Spencer Arrighetti's year to step up. The Astros are in a make or break year, and you're looking at teams like the Rangers, same deal. Mariners, same deal. It's athletics, and it could be anyone's division there. But if it's going to be the Astros, it's going to be Spencer Arrighetti that steps up.
Yeah, they need a solid number 2 right after Framber Valdez. And all right, so he is currently ranked as the 56th starting pitcher in baseball today. So where do you think he'll be at the end of the season? You think he'll reach the top 40 at least?
Yeah, I'll give you 40. 38th.
All right, I like that. I have him as a top 40 after this season as well. So another pitcher that is 52% rostered, Gavin Williams. In 2024, he had an elbow injury, pitched a 4.86 ERA in 76 innings, had 79 strikeouts. He was throwing out his slider a lot less last season. I'm assuming because of the stress that it was putting on his injured elbow. So in 2023, he threw his slider 22% of the time. In 2024, he threw his slider 11% of the time. And he added a cutter. Cutter, similar to slider, throw it a little bit harder, doesn't move laterally as much as a slider, but he started throwing that 12% of the time last year. So as a former pitcher yourself, do you think that maybe he was compensating, throwing the cutter that doesn't have the same arm action as a slider?
It's not far off. I mean, you're throwing cutter a little bit harder, I guess. But ultimately, when I look at Gavin Williams, I'm looking at a guy that on the Cleveland pitching staff has to step up again. Same deal, where if Cleveland's going to win that division, he has to be a big part of that. He pitched to 16 games last year, 4.86 ERA. That's not going to get it done. So they're looking for 2023 Gavin Williams that pitched to a 3.29 ERA in 16 games pitched. So in 82 innings pitched, there's only a difference of 6 innings pitched 2023 to 2024. So he can't be the guy that was a borderline 5 ERA. He has to be a sub 3.5 guy for them to have a good chance to win that division.
And they said that he's kind of over his elbow issues. So I think that we could probably see something closer to 2023. I don't think he's that good. A 3.29 ERA. I think that was just the league kind of getting adjusted to him because I believe that was his first season in the majors.
Nobody's ever over their elbow. Never, ever over their elbow issues.
Yeah, definitely. But hopefully he rested enough in the offseason where he can at least manage it and stay healthy enough where his ERA is under 4 and still gets at least a strikeout per inning.
Yeah, I'm just glad I didn't draft that guy early. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, true story. That's why he's called a sleeper, right?
Sure.
All right, so Taj Bradley will be the next one. He is 58% rostered. Former top prospect of the Rays. Dude, the Rays develop pitchers so well. We've seen that time and time again from then. He changed his pitch mix a little bit last season. Ground ball percentage went up. Line drive percentage went down. Home ballpark could be a factor because he is pitching in a minor league facility this season because of the Rays ballpark got destroyed by the hurricane in Florida. So they're still playing in Florida, but the Yankees minor league team has allowed the Rays to take over and play all their home games there. And, you know, these minor league ballparks are little league ballparks. The balls fly, you know, they go over the fence. They all have short fences. So it's going to be a tough challenge for any Rays pitcher this season. Rays batters are going to have a hell of a time, though. They're going to love playing in that ballpark.
Sure, and I guess there's almost no excuse anymore, though, for Taj Bradley, too. I mean, he's been in that organization since 2018. You know, I'll stick with the make or break theme here, but he's 23, going on 24 here. And I don't care what ballpark you're pitching in. You know, if you're a pitcher, you can get guys out. Ground balls, strikeouts, whatever it takes here. So figure it out. Doesn't matter what park you're pitching in necessarily. And he's not known for giving up home runs. So what's it matter?
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of pitchers out there that don't really pitch. They just throw, you know, guys that are throwing 100 miles an hour and they think that's enough. They have like a fastball and a changeup and that's it. But Taj Bradley has a pretty decent arsenal. He throws a lot of pitches, a lot of different types of pitches. I think his sequencing could probably use a little bit of work. But like I said, I think the Rays develop their pitchers very well. And I think that he'll be a solid number 3 for years to come in the Rays organization.
That's fair.
Right, so that was Taj Bradley. And then we have Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Gavin Williams, and Spencer Arrighetti. So out of those 4 options, do you want to rank them for me? Give me your top one.
I'll take Spencer Arrighetti. Gavin Williams too.
And then Scherzer and Verlander, you already said Verlander first, and Scherzer, I guess you have last on this list.
I guess I'm way more skeptical, you know, especially Scherzer and the Blue Jays combo. I mean, I don't necessarily like or trust the Giants, but I think Verlander in that park could do very well.
All right, moving on to corner infield. We have Vinny Pasquantino has a grade 1 hamstring strain. No timeline for him to come back, but a grade 1 shouldn't take too long. Hopefully he'll just be on the minimum, but he says that he plans to play on opening day. So I actually didn't check to see if he was playing today, but I think
Vinny played.
Oh, did he? All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to my boy, Royce Lewis, who is also a corner infielder. Another hamstring strain, no timeline on his return. And this guy, go ahead and take it, John, because I know you got a lot to say on Royce Lewis.
I don't really have a whole lot to say because he doesn't play. Royce Lewis is always on the injured list. I warned everybody about Royce Lewis and drafting him and what that occurs. So if you need an extra guy on your, injured list, he's perfect. I'm not a big Royce Lewis guy. That's really all I got to add is that he's just never healthy.
See, and I love Royce Lewis when he's on the field because I feel like he is such a good contact hitter. He's a 300 hitter, with some decent pop. But like you said, he's just always injured. Me too. But he's just always injured, and that is a huge problem. And dude, he could be so valuable to the Twins, dude. It's like the Twins are just like kind of almost there all the time. But Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, they have so many guys that are just injured like more than half the season, I mean, hopefully. So Carlos Correa said that he is over his plantar fasciitis, like completely 100% healed. I don't buy that at all. I think maybe it's just not flared up, and that's great. I'd love to see a full season from Carlos Correa because I think we can see a 280 batting average with 25 plus home runs, give or take. And maybe even a little bit more than that. I mean, it's hard to gauge Carlos Correa because he was part of that scandal, and how much of that was actually skill versus, knowing what pitch was coming. We
He's
have
not
seen
getting
Carlos.
younger.
He's not getting younger, and injuries seem to happen more often the older that you get. But we do have some replacements for Royce Lewis. So the first one is Matt Shaw, 56% rostered. He is already being named the National League Rookie of the Year candidate. In 2024, in 121 games in AA and AAA, he batted 284 with 21 home runs, 31 stolen bases, 62 walks to 95 strikeouts, and an 867 OPS. And if you go a year before that, he only played 38 games in 2023, but he batted 357 with 8 home runs, 15 stolen bases, 9 walks to 25 strikeouts, and a 1,018 OPS. Has second base, third base, and shortstop eligibility. So, top prospect. I know you love talking prospects, John. Let's hit it.
It's not even just talking prospects. I mean, this guy he's already here, so he's earned it too. First round draft pick out of for the Cubs. Just in 2024 combined, just hit a mere 284, 21 homers, 71 RBI. That's in 121 games. And by the way, this guy is literally 23 years old. So he's already here. He's going to play too. Third base opening day in Tokyo for the Cubs. Like you said, multiple positions. So guy hits for power. He's fast. He can hit for contact. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. I think he's very, very good at everything. He's not great at anything, if that's fair to say. But I'll take someone that's very, very well balanced in all categories, because that's a very good fantasy baseball player. And at 23 years old, his potential is kind of unlimited. So give me that.
Yeah, for sure. So Yahoo has him projected to have 429 at bats. I think if he produces, it's going to be closer to 550. He's going to play a lot more at this age. Barring injury, of course, he should be able to play 150 games at least.
Yeah, and he would really have to struggle for them to send him down too. So really, of course, he's batting 111 to start the season, but that's in 2 games. So right. Everyone chill.
And it was against the Dodgers pitching staff, and everyone knows that, the 2 Dodgers that he faced in Tokyo, by the way, it was probably a little nerve-wracking for him. MLB debut in a whole different country, and the time change. Like, there's so many different factors that could affect everything that was going on with Matt Shaw. But moving on to the next name, we have a former Philly, Rhys Hoskins, at 54% rostered. Just came off the worst season of his career. He played 131 games, a 214 batting average. He's never been a batting average standout, but 214 is I think that's a career low for him. 26 home runs and 140 runs plus RBI. He had a career high K percentage of 28.8%. His career batting average is 245. I know this is former Philly, and you probably have a lot to say about Rhys Hoskins too. So what do you think?
If you're looking for someone that's going to give you some power, some RBI, I mean, I would love Rhys Hoskins more on a different team. I'm overall not crazy high on the Brewers. I'm just not. I like Rhys Hoskins more on the Phillies, to be honest. I would like him on the Yankees. I'd like him on the Dodgers more, but Rhys Hoskins will also strike out a lot. Not that defense has anything to do with fantasy baseball, but he walks a good amount. But Rhys Hoskins has not really improved much in his power, despite going to another hitter-friendly park. So for Rhys Hoskins, I think the lineup necessarily isn't improving for him to go from Philadelphia to Milwaukee. So you saw the numbers decline in that aspect of, he's not a contact hitter, and Milwaukee signed him to be a 3-4 bop hitter. So he's trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's trying to elevate that ball. So you're going to lose average when you do that too. And so with that said, you see him go down in average, but there's a chance he goes up in power as well. For Milwaukee, like I said, I don't love the lineup. I love Jackson Chourio. I don't trust Yelich's health. And outside of those two guys, I mean, Bryce Harang, fine. Wilson Contreras, sure, but I don't know. And I mean, if you're looking for RBIs and power out of Rhys Hoskins, there's other guys out there I would probably trust a little bit more too.
All right, and one other guy that is available in a lot of leagues who just made the opening day roster for the Houston Astros, Cam Smith. He is currently 31% rostered. This dude was the main trade piece in the main piece for the Astros to receive for Kyle Tucker that went to the Cubs. So Kyle Tucker is a huge talent. So if he's the prospect that you got in return for Kyle Tucker, that says a lot, dude. And Cam Smith, he has a lot of potential. He's only played 32 games in his professional career. Last year in 2024, he batted .313 with 1,005 OPS, 7 home runs, 4 triples, 15 walks to 24 strikeouts. The dude has amazing upside, and the Astros really want Smith in their lineup. He's actually beginning starts in right field in spring training, so he has third base eligibility currently, and he's eventually going to get outfield eligibility also. Honestly, man, even if I didn't have a corner infielder that went down with injury, I'd still be looking to add Cam Smith if I can. I think that if the Astros believe in him and he is their starting player for, any position, if he's going to be playing every day, I want that guy in my lineup.
Yeah, he's going to be playing every day. He's a stud, and you're not giving up a guy like Kyle Tucker to just say, all right, go figure it out in the minors, and we're going to start you in the majors to send you back down. Like, no, he's going to get at-bats. He's going to get opportunities. The guy's nickname is The Pickle. So, yeah, that's kind of all you need to know about Cam Smith. He's, I think, 23 years old. So, yeah, dude is here. His parents came in to announce that he was going to stay in the majors, and he's here. So for Cam Smith, I think with a trade like that, like I said, to have the flexibility to play third base, outfield, wherever they need him, he's willing to, and he'll be batting in the middle of that lineup too, and get plenty of RBI opportunities.
For sure. All right, so we have Matt Shaw, Rhys Hoskins, and Cam Smith. You want to rank those?
I'm between Shaw and Smith. Shaw, Smith, Hoskins.
Yeah, I have the same, and honestly, it's between Cam and let's see,
Shaw.
Cam and Shaw for me. The biggest thing though is the second base, third base, and shortstop eligibility for Matt Shaw. I think that is kind of just like the thing that's tipping the scales for me when it comes to those two guys. But yeah, Rhys Hoskins. If neither of those first two guys are available, I'll probably give Rhys Hoskins a try. And in a points league, it kind of sucks because, like you said, he has a lot of strikeouts, and the other guys have really good plate discipline. But he, like you said, he's a bopper. And he's going to get a lot of RBIs. And hopefully a lot of home runs, 30 plus, maybe. We've seen him do it time and time again. So if he plays 150 games, I think he'll be able to hit 30 home runs in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's pushing it. I'm not going to put 30 on the board. I'll give you 23.
Oh, wow. That's low. All right. So next we have Gunnar Henderson with an intercostal strain, hopeful for a minimum stay on IL. They were even talking about him being ready for opening day, but he was sitting for a long time. He wasn't taking any at bats. I wasn't even allowed to pick up a bat. So it was kind of like obvious that they were probably going to put him on the IL just because they can't have one of their star players on the bench for opening day. And how long would he stay on the bench? You might as well just put him on the IL, give one of these other young guys a chance to make a name for themselves, while Gunner's out. So at least get their feet wet, right?
Sure. As far as free agents are going, you want to chat about who I would add versus who you might add?
Yeah, but there is another middle infielder that also went down. It's Zach Neto, recovering from off-season shoulder surgery after injuring himself sliding into second base. So two middle infielders that are on injury. So Matt Shaw is another one that are, we already talked about in corner infield. He's also a middle infielder, as we just mentioned with the eligibility. So who else you got?
As far as guys to add, I mean, there's a couple different guys that actually went down. So Connor Norby went down, Zach Geloff went down. So a lot of guys have been going down. As far as guys that are available out there in that corner infield or shortstop position that you might want to target, you might be a little bit late to the game, but Christian Campbell getting the call for the Red Sox to have second base and outfield eligibility. That's kind of nice. As far as a guy that you love, you want to talk about your boy out in Oakland?
Jacob Wilson. Yes, I do love me some Jacob Wilson. He's 7%
rostered. He's got to be on your list.
Oh yeah, for sure. 7% rostered, which should be way higher than that. I think just a lot of people just don't know the name because he's in Oakland, or not Oakland anymore. He's on the A's, right? He did have his debut in 2024, July 17th, and suffered a left hamstring strain on his MLB debut, same day. Returned August 27th. He played 28 games in 2024 at the MLB level, batted .250, 4 extra base hits, 8 walks to 10 strikeouts, which was very underwhelming. But if you look at 2024 minor numbers, he played 53 games, a .433 batting average, an 1141 OPS, 7 home runs, and 28 doubles. And then in AAA, he batted .396 with a .448 OBP, 1061 OPS. And then you look back even before the minors, same story in college. 7% rostered? Like, come on, guys. Anyone listening to this show, add Jacob Wilson right now. I've been trying to trade John for Jacob Wilson because this dude kept him in our league. And
No, I didn't.
Maybe I just kind of like ran out of money, or I didn't have space for.
I tried to keep him. I had him, and then Kevin drafted him, and then I traded back for him.
That's how it happened.
How it be, baby.
Yeah, I do love me some Jacob Wilson. I know that he's on the A's. I keep on wanting to say in Oakland. I know he's on the A's.
Know, it's so hard not to say in Oakland.
I know that in Sacramento. That doesn't sound right. Eventually we'll be saying in Vegas. In the sack. I love some in the sack.
Huh?
I love some in the sack. Why you got that blank look on your face? All right, so
let's cut that.
No cutting. No, we are live. We are keeping everything. No edits, no filters. We got to have a little filters. No cussing on this show, or at least we try not to. Sometimes it slips. Oops, my bad. Anyway, another middle infielder that I kind of mentioned earlier, Carlos Correa, 53% rostered in 2024. He only played 86 games, but he batted .310 with a 905 OPS, 14 home runs, 40 walks to 67 strikeouts. And back in 2023, he had a K percentage of 22.6. And then last year, he dropped his K percentage down to 16.6. That is elite plate discipline. 16.6 is awesome. He was part of the cheating scandal, but StatCast has always kind of looked good for him. As I mentioned earlier, he has plantar fasciitis. He says he's completely healed and it won't be an issue in 2025. I'll believe that when I see it. As a sufferer from plantar fasciitis myself, I know how bad that shit can be. I mean, oops, just did it again. I know how bad that can be. There's been times when I'm walking downstairs from my room to get ready for work and, go down to the kitchen, make my coffee, whatever. And it feels like there are nails sticking out from the stairs and just digging into my heels. The first time I felt it, I remember I was just walking normal, and I don't know. I felt like something snap. You know what it feels like? I don't know if you've ever had this before, but it feels like if you get a rubber band and you just snap the bottom of your feet over and over again whenever you try to like stretch it. And dude, when I used to play softball years ago, it would hurt like crazy after the game. During the game, I was fine. But on the way home, I'm driving. I try to get out of the car when I'm parked at my house. And dude, it's like walking on nails, dude. It's not fun.
I think between that, Will, and think of it this way. When you lived in California, that was a pretty long time ago, right?
7 years almost.
Long time. Different, lifetime ago, if you will. It's the last time Carlos Correa hit over 300. I mean, he's not that dude anymore. He's never healthy. He's in
And
Minnesota.
that's the problem,
He's
is that
not
he's never
Carlos
healthy.
Correa anymore,
He
man.
could be.
No, he's
We don't
not.
know because
No,
the
he's
dude's never
not.
healthy.
No, he's not.
I don't know. I believe in Carlos Correa. I hate saying that because I don't like the guy personally, but I think
You just
the
hate the
player.
Dodgers. You wear the hat, but you hate the team.
Yeah, you taking my Dodger card too? Just like we're taking Carlos's because he said that the Giants were going to get a wild card spot. Like, come on, bro. Giants aren't getting a wild card spot. I hope you're watching this, Carlos, so that way you can talk crap back to me. All right, so Carlos Correa, don't like the guy, but I do believe in the player. I think that he could bat 285, 25 home runs. Really good plate discipline. The strides that I saw him make in plate discipline last year, I think that will definitely carry over into 2025. Yeah, and that's all we got.
I think his ceiling right now is like 270 with 18 homers and 67 RBI.
With good plate discipline. Hey, as a middle infield option, I will take that all day. Maybe not as my starting shortstop, but for leagues that have that middle infield spot or even just utility, I'd like to have a guy like that on my roster, someone that I can just leave there and trust on a daily basis to at least, be. It won't hurt me.
I think if we're talking about either an injury replacement or someone you want to rely on, he's neither. He's not someone you're picking up to replace someone that's injured or someone you want to rely on that is going to stay healthy. And that's my problem with Carlos Correa.
All right. So that was Carlos Correa, Jacob Wilson, and Matt Shaw, all middle infield replacements. So you want to rank those for me, John?
I had to. All right. If we want to throw Matt Shaw in there, let's go. Definitely want to go Jacob Wilson, Matt Shaw, and Correa.
All right, I got the same. And that actually completes our injury replacements for the day. We got through that pretty quick. And nothing in the comments right now, so no questions. If you are watching, you can always throw something in the comments, fantasy baseball related, whatever. And yeah, since we're actually done a little bit early, I'm going to log off and I'm going to go finish the rest of the Dodgers game as long as it's not done. I haven't checked my phone since we got on. But if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We will be back next Thursday with more fantasy content.
Happy opening day, Will.
Happy opening day, John.
And it's like getting out early today. Just go enjoy it. Watch baseball. You don't have to listen to us. Watch baseball.
Yeah, watch some baseball. Watch us tomorrow. And make sure you catch Carlos and Ernie on Sunday's show, The Power Hour. They are there every Sunday night on YouTube as well. And we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
See ya.